reading, right? I'm not expecting a good reading from you. I'm just expecting a speech from you, that is in your own words. You want to collect some data, you could collect some data. Or if you want to say share some your own experiences, you're most welcome. Like you must be having your own siblings. If you are having any gender bias, yes, welcome. There are contradictory statements stating that yes, there are only working women, only few working women, they say, but altogether, they say that every woman is a working woman, because need not you work in a workplace, even working for the family, without expecting any salaries, without expecting any holidays. It's a 24 by 7 job that every woman would be doing, right? So, with due respect, accepting all these facts, uh, let's share our own opinion about women. And of course, as we were talking about the gender bias, like for instance, if you could talk about feminism, yes, there is a state word called as feminism, but I don't know. I'm not aware of the opposite to feminism, right? So we have a great certain amount of respect for women, right? When you talk about man, probably then on this particular day, very day, you'd be getting good messages related to women. Let's say you'd be apprising them, recognizing their work, appreciating them. Probably you could call some appraisals would be given to the woman on this very particular day, but the remaining days it's forgotten. And if you talk about Men's Day, yeah, we do celebrate Men's Day also, but there are in contradictory. You would be getting some funny messages related by the end of the day or in the evening. You would be receiving some messages saying that, oh, today it's Men's Day, right? But on par, if you see, for a particular cycle, for a particular vehicle, you need a good balance of the wheels. Let's call on a parallel lines, if you see a couple of tires, if you can say, for instance, like for instance, if you take the example of a bicycle, right? One could be called as man and the other would be called as woman, right? Without these two um wheels, you cannot have the balance of that particular bicycle, right? No matter, you see, even you could say that yes sir, there are bicycles where one cycle, one tire is quite big, one tire is quite small, but still you need two. You might be, yes, saying that in circus you would be having people, well trained people who would be driving the cycle on only one wheel, but you must be knowing the challenges that would be faced by the person who tries to balance himself or herself on only one wheel, right? If you see the life cycle, for instance, how it works, right? If there is no person to appreciate, recognize, then sorry, yeah, You couldn't expect the one. For instance, if you take the example of the successful person also, if there are no people to appreciate his success, his or her success, for instance, there's no question, there's no point in being successful, right? So on parallelly, if you look at, yes, on humanitarian grounds, for instance, there are people who would be called as feminists, but what about the counterpart, right?
Sir, I'd like to share some anecdotes. This is not, this is entirely unprepared, sir. Sir, am I
Very good.
audible?
Yeah. Who's this? I
Sir,
am unable to see. I am There is kind of technical issue here.
sir, I'm Sarthak, A0545.
Yeah, Mr. Sarthak, please continue.
Pardon me if there are, speaking errors, but this is because this is completely unprepared.
No
Uh, so,
problem, no
uh,
problem. Everyone is welcome, and Sarthak, you are quite appreciated for this taking the initiation. You are called as a good leader now, right? One who takes the initiation, he would be assumed or treated as a good leader, right? Very good. Carry on, Mr. Sarthak. I'll be muting
uh,
myself, my dear friends. One after the other, you please carry on, right? For a further disturbance from my side, so that you would not get any disturbance.
all right. Good morning, everybody. This is just a small story that I have heard from my grandmother, actually, my maternal grandmother, that is. Like we all talk about International Women's Day, or we talk about the opportunity or lack thereof that are being given to the women of the household or the girls of the household. I don't know about other cultures or other states of our country, but like the state where I come from Kashmir. I have my roots based in Kashmir, so I can talk about that. And like in Kashmir, we like Kashmiri people in general, we always have given our like we are not nobody to give like women anything, but yeah, in Kashmiri households, there has been a culture of equal education and giving equal opportunities to women and girls. And this is I can tell an anecdote that my grandmother told me, my maternal grandmother, she stays with us. So she told me this when I was going through my 12th class boards. And she told me that her mother, that makes her my great grandmother, she was an unlettered woman, and at that time, there were some people who had that kind of ideology that women don't have to study. But she must have been in her, sixties, because my granny was working. She was working as a Hindi teacher in Kashmir in, I don't know, 60s. This is after she was a year or two after she was married. And she told me that when she was younger, her mother used to tell her that you all need to study very hard and get on par with your brothers, or with your husbands. And she was talking in such a tone that you need to study so hard, because coming from an unlettered woman, this sounds very strange in English. Like it sounds so very stupid in English. But when my granny was telling me this in Kashmiri, in my mother tongue, I felt so, I felt this sense of euphoria, that I was so proud of my culture, that, because we all talk about giving women an equal opportunity or a level playing field. And hearing about these kind of stories happening in the 60s and 50s, even when we did not even when the feminist movement was not taking speed in the even in America. I suppose it was taking speed in America. This is around the time after the Second World War, before the Cold War, when American women decided that they should have equal rights also. This is at that time my great grandmother used to inspire my grandmother to study, and that is why. the what do you call it, the ideological baton has been passed from my nani, who I call, from my great nani to my nani and then to my mother. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, my mother has two sons. So I don't know if I could have like I could not take that baton forward. But yeah, I am definitely, I will any kind of woman who has stood up for herself, I have great respect for her. And I have great respect for women in general who any kind, like who face all the odds and do what they want to. And that is why, this is one of the reasons I am a feminist, and yes, I'm a proud one at that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good way, Sarthak. Next person, please. Try to make it in 2 minutes.
This is Purnima, sir. Hello.
Yes, Purnima, please continue. I am muting myself so that there would be no disturbance from my side. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning to
Good.
one and
Good,
all.
Purnima. Yeah. Carry on.
This is Purnima. I'm going to tell you the importance of this day. We celebrate this day to celebrate women who work hard every day in personal and professional life, and to encourage them to do equal with the men. And the men, in those days, women were backward, and they are supposed to be work in home. You don't need to work outside. And to encourage them, we will celebrate in their professional ethics, that the women must encourage in the outward works which were held by men, and which was done by men too. uh, we can say that we are giving the importance that the woman can do that. uh, the one thing I will say that uh, a human was born by a woman, to the woman and the for the woman. We need to do that. A woman can do anything without any interruption by a human being, which can leads her backward. Hence, I am very proud to be a woman, and I'm supposed to do the well and the good for the world. Thank you.
Very good, Purnima. Very bold and clear at your views. Very good. Next person, please.
Sir, can I go?
Yeah, please.
Uh,
Jagruti.
yes. So, women rights have been contested for a very long time, since kings and emperors from so long ago. And I think, you know, uh, until a couple of days, I didn't even know that March 8th was celebrated as International Women's Day, because I feel that, every day should be celebrated as Women's Day. I mean, like, just like, it's not we shouldn't just focus on this, like, we should celebrate just one day as Women's Day, because as a woman, both in profession and person, like, the amount, just like being a woman is not easy, and it might look that way, but the amount of responsibilities that we undergo, even being a mother, like taking a mother as an example, taking my mother as an example. um she After we moved to Hyderabad, while my dad was staying in Bangalore, she took care of two kids, me and my sister and I, and she took care of all of the household responsibilities. She took the responsibility, took all of the responsibilities of my father, and she maintained this household without my dad for 7 years. And if that's not honorable, if that's not respectable, then I don't know what is. I am so proud to call her my mother, and I'm so proud to be a woman, because as Purnima said, life comes out of us, and it's not easy, leading a life as a woman, and it just should, my main thing is, I'm rambling, I know, but my main thing is that just there shouldn't March 8th should not just be International Women's Day. Every day should be celebrated as Women's Day.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Jagruti. in your opinion, and I do agree with that. Yeah, next person, please.
Sir, can I?
Yes, please. Who's this?
Sir, I'm Karthikeya.
Yeah, Karthikeya, please.
80524.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karthikeya, and I would just like to talk about the Women's Day as special as it is today. So, actually, my mother, she was born and brought up completely in Karnataka, and it was actually a small village. It's called Ballari, and it's in fact a beautiful village, and where people used to stay together and everything. But there was one thing that women were not treated as same as men were, because it was almost 80% or almost 90% people were just household working people. They used to take care of the houses, they used to take care of the women and men in their house, and they take care of the children. But in fact, my grandmother, to be very particular, she emphasized on the education of my mother a lot. And in fact, she's the reason why my mother started to work and yeah, got educated in Karnataka itself. And yeah, and also I would like to take an example of how still women are having a lesser percentage in case of in other fields. Like take example of music or classical music in general. In classical music, if you see, almost 4.1% of women are only there in orchestras or in symphonies or taking part in symphonies. So it's more like women are having a lesser percentage in comparison to men. And in fact, it's women who are playing the most number of instruments also. So it's just to talk about how neglected these skills are also in case of women. And yeah, as Jagruti also spoke about how you're not supposed to consider each and every day as a women day and not specifically a day. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you.
Very good, Karthikeya. Next person, please.
Sir, can I go?
Yeah, who's this? It's a big
Hariharan,
screen. I
sir.
cannot see. Yeah, Hariharan. Yeah, please carry on.
A0557. Sir, today, good morning, everyone. So, right now, I'm not going to speak about why women are important to the world because many of my classmates who spoke before me have shed light on the topic. I'm going to speak about uh, why the influence of feminism is the least influential in India. Why I'm saying this is because every day we wake up and we know how important women are to this world. And but in our country itself, if you wake up every day and you read the news, there are terrible things being done to women. And why is this? And why are women not being able to progress as much as men in our country? Is because of the less influence or feminism not being practiced enough. I mean, if you see in other countries, many of the women writers, like the famous ones, like Jane Austen or Fanny Fern, they all wrote influential books that motivated other women to do something out of the normal and break the social barriers and come out. And these instances have been recorded a lot and have been taught to us as well. And if and I think most of us studied social studies till class 10th, and there was a whole chapter dedicated to women. There was a chapter dedicated to women empowerment, I suppose. And in those, Jane Austen, Fanny Fern, those kind of writers were mentioned. But one thing was missing. What about Indian women novelists? Why there are very few of them? Why their influence is very less? That is because many of the Indian households, they're still backward. I mean, forget the men. Even if the woman itself, like the older ones, I'm talking about the majority, and there are few who are an exception who have a feminist thinking. but the older women, some grandmothers and some mothers, they think the woman's job is to stay at home, take care of the family, and the man's job is to go outside and provide for the family. That kind of thinking is still going around, especially in the rural parts where education is not very well available. And not only that, I mean, even if you see uh, television, which is the biggest form of entertainment to most Indian households. Even in those, there are very few instances of woman empowerment. Like, how many serials do all the uh, our grandmothers or our mothers watch that have anything or something related to women empowerment? Everything is about a family affair, and then how and problems in the family and how women deal with it. There is no such instance where a woman goes outside, how she works, and all that. So, what I'm saying is, first of all, the change needs to come from within the households, and the practice should be done in any means of ways possible, like entertainments. We need to people need producers or TV producers. They need to start making women empowerment shows where they show women breaking the normal, like going to work instead of staying and taking care of the family. That way, the rural people whose only source of knowledge uh, is television, they learn from that and they try to adopt it in their family, and change comes from within. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, good, Hariharan. Fine. Next,
So can I?
yeah, please.
This hello everyone. Good
You
afternoon.
could fight with your friends also. In case you have any contradictions related to your friends' views, you could fight with them. It's an open debate. Yeah, Sanya, please carry on.
Good afternoon everyone. This is Sanya. Everyone, my friends just now said how a woman is important in everyone's life. I would like to ask everyone, though how far this Women's Day or women empowerment is really successful in day-to-day life or in our society. as we see uh, as we see women, though on one side we have speeches like we should all women should be empowered, like they should get good education, and they should go out for the office or job. But the other side we have a very bad situation, for girls. They really, we see in newspapers or very horrible things, terrible things happening to girls daily. We see many newses or articles on these topics. It's really bad seeing this, how these things are going on in our society now. If we tell how women, though we say, as my friend said, women is a all rounder. We come in our Indian history only. We have a great women like Rani Lakshmi Bai. you know they all, in those days only, they came out of their comfort zone and ruled their kingdom in a great way. But then why now we bowed ourselves in a small house or small room. Why can't we come out of the break the barriers and think out of mind and help women to grow and allow them to allow them to reach whatever they want. um yes. Yeah, women. Yeah, women is, you can say, like, they're great. They work. For example, like our mothers, you can take. They wake up early. They look after the kids, the husbands, and there are some working women also. They go for job, and they should manage both the house and their professional life and personal life at the same time in a balanced way. If we say, why she should only think of everything, we can also lend our helping hand to them. We can help them, and however we can, and however we can. this is what I want to say. Let's not in this Women's Day. Let's not only praise women for being good, or let's not only give long speeches on women empowerment. Let's also think out of the box, and let's also help women in however in any ways we can want. You know, like for example, there are many cases happening, like women are getting kidnapped, women trafficking, harassment, any like etc things, these type we should what g- we should fight for these things for women, fight against these all these things. Why we should a government or NGOs should also, or not only them, we as a student also we should know what is wrong and what is right, like now because we are the tomorrow's generation, new generation. So I think we let this Women's Day, let's dedicate to all those girls and women who always work and think of a betterment of a society, and for next generation, and work hard and take care of all. Thank you everyone. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay, very good. Sania, you are quite unstoppable. Okay, fine. Next person.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Wait, is it? Sorry, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jahnavi. My roll number is A054. So today is March 8th, International Women's Day, and I don't think I can top any of the speeches that have been given by any of my classmates. They've been so wonderful. I feel like I'm empowered right now. I just want to say that in the present century, women have been making ground-breaking achievements in different kind of fields. We have just recently in the Golden Globe Awards a movie called Nomad Land. It won a Golden Globe Award, and the director was a woman, and that just kind of made me feel proud because it's been a really long time since women have been appreciated for something other than household works. And it's not easy being a woman because we have responsibilities of not only just taking care of our family, and especially the working women, they have to go and go to their offices, do work, and then come back, and they have to complete this list of responsibilities. And I think that we have to appreciate not just the working woman, but also the home houseworking moms, because we don't give them as much credit than we used to. I mean, it's not just about men and women who are getting paid for their jobs. Even though household work is not a paid job, it is important because it is how each and every family grows up in. And as Sanya said, or as Hariharan said, it is our way of thinking. Feminism has grown. Obviously, if we compare it to previous centuries, the idea of feminism and the idea of women empowerment has grown all over the world. And there are women who are coming out when they're sexually harassed, or there are women coming out when there's harassment in the workplaces. And it is truly inspiring to listen to that. But I think it is also feminism is also how we think that women should be, how they should be in the society, because there have been a lot of restrictions for how women should be, what they should wear, how they should speak, how they should look. And I think it is because of these restrictions that uh, the words such as feminism and women empowerment haven't reached any light till now. And I believe that on if we change our perspective on how women should be, and if we kind of just not God, I forgot what I was going to say. I think what I'm trying to say is that don't try to be a sheep in a herd. As a woman, it is really hard to kind of do what you want to do and achieve something without some men kind of taking advantage of your work. And I think that if you believe in yourself and if you believe in what you want to do, that we can definitely change the world as a woman. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yes, very good, Jahnavi. Next person, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Who is this, sir?
Sir Sai Chandra.
సాయి చంద్ర. ఇదో పెద్ద లిస్ట్ ఉంది, నాకు కనిపిస్తలేదు. యా, సాయి చంద్ర, ప్లీజ్ క్యారీ ఆన్.
Okay, sir. All of my classmates have spoken very well on the Women's Day. So I am not going to tell very long paragraphs. So I just want to say something I have written now. Just some lines on my mother. So I'm going to thank my mother with my line. Oh, mother, thank you for the all things you have done to me. Thank you for raising me. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for the delicious food every day. Thank you for the money. What can I say more? If there will be another life, I want to go in your room again. Thank you, mom. Even these are small things we don't say our mom. Thank you every day. For I mean, riding for the school in our childhood, cooking food in kitchen every day. Uh, so that's it. I'm going to thank my mom in the occasion of the Women's Day. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that was quite sweet. No need to thank her. Probably you got to show that love, that unconditional love that their parents show us. We got to love them. We got to say, "I love you, mom. I love you, dad." Probably a good hug would do. Yeah. Okay. Next person, please. Yes. Hello. Is there any problem? Who's the next person, please?
Greetings, sir.
Yes, Syed Abdul. Please carry on.
As I have been given the topic about women, we know for the first few decades, like even in our exams, we were writing the same about women, this, woman, that. I would like to point one of the main things why Women's Day is not celebrated wholeheartedly. Not only in the rural areas, but even in main cities. Like if you if you see at a man who has just got daughter, at the moment visualizes he tries to see the future. It's like after 20 months, 20 no not 20 months, 20 years of giving money, you have to give something more. You have to send her off, and then while sending her off you need to give a bulk package. It's like too much money, expenses, and then he's not happy with it. Although some unconditional love parents do exist there, I'm talking about not about the minority. It's like 10 to 20% of people don't completely wholeheartedly celebrate Women's Day about many of the factors, and this is one of the big factors, dowry. I would just like to point out because of dowry, and there might be more, but dowry is one of the main things why Women's Day is not elaborated, celebrated wholeheartedly. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Yes, that's a quite bitter fact. Yeah, I could agree with that. But still, we need to fight. Probably we should take the initiation and say no to dowry, right? Yeah, good. Next person, please.